Titan Greatsword Tristan, a 1 to 144 scale beyond exquisite model kit produced by SNAA as a part of their Round Table Knights line. I was browsing through one of my local hobby stores when I found this guy on the shelf, being able to get my hands on him for $26.75. Tristan is the first model kit I've done by SNAA, and to keep it short, I'm very impressed with the quality that this company has provided. All the details and amount of accessories included for something that's under $30 is nothing short but a blessing. And for my first time ever, I took a shot at panel lining, applying water decals, and applying a spray finish. So as we take a closer look at some of the details, there's going to be some imperfections sticking out here and there, but for the most part, I'm pretty proud with the finished result. I went ahead and picked out a box in good condition for us to take a look at here. So here we have a front side view, a back side view, a top side view, a bottom side view, a right side view, and a left side view. Inside of our box, we get 7 bags in total for all of our runners, and a few paper prints including the instruction manual and the water decals. In total, it took about 3 to 4 days of on and off building from snipping to finishing, but depending on how much effort you're looking to put into the details, you could easily knock this out within a day. However, small disclaimer, there are several tiny and intricate pieces within this build, so keep an eye out on all your parts so you don't end up losing any. Because there was a few times I let some pieces fly out and in result delaying my process. But in the end, we got him completed, and here is a full look at Tristan in his base without any of his accessories attached onto him. Tristan comes with 16 different accessories, including 12 swappable hands, 6 for each arm, a great sword, a sword and shield, and a cape. Tristan comes with a pair of closed fists, a pair of almost closed fists, a pair of open fists, a pair of open palm hands, a pair of pointing hands, and a pair of rock and roll hands. For whatever reason. Tristan's sword and shield are able to be sheathed together like so, and both sets of weapons come with a different peg for each that allow you to holster them on the back of his cape. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a hands-on look at Tristan here. Small disclaimer, as I mentioned previously, I did do a bunch of detailing work such as panel lining and matte finishing, so my Tristan is going to look a little different than how he would straight out of the box. However, with that being said, I'm just in love with this matte finish. It complements the colors of this build so well. The gold and the blue gain a whole new life, and the translucent green now has this beautiful frosted look that just sits so well with the rest of the model. But let's start off with taking a look at the head, which was probably the worst part about this build. There's a surprising amount of small little parts involved to complete this head that just gave me such a bunch of headaches. Though, the final product turned out great, and I love the gold detailing here in the horns and near his mouth. If we take a closer look at his eyes, you can see that I chose to go with the green eyes because you get a choice to go with either green or gold. The articulation on his head is very fascinating because you have the ability to lift his neck here, allowing you to grab this greater range of motion, which will pretty much cover everything you're gonna want out of a head joint. You're also getting a lot out of these arms. They're very beautifully designed with these gold accents. Even inside the shoulder, there are some gold tubing details here. And especially in the back, we get a great look at the design work done. But what's really setting these arms apart though is the amount of articulation found in them. These shoulder plates have 2 different sections that are able to move freely, and the arms are able to pop out similarly to his neck, allowing for a crazy range of motion. I mean, look at this. Being able to bend his arms this far out in front of his chest is just so nice. The elbow is probably the most limited joint here, but combined with the rest of the rotation that the arm is able to achieve, there's not much left undone. Shifting over to his torso, I was able to achieve a bunch of nice lines that really pop out and complement these little gold and green details down underneath his breast area. In the back, we have a peg insert that is meant for his cape, which I'll show later on. Articulation wise, we're going to be able to spin him around like this, and we're actually able to move this little front piece of his waist, which allows me to show off his ab crunch, which allows Tristan to bend just like so. Now, these are very visible in the back, and the waist piece is limiting a lot of the movement he would otherwise be able to achieve without it, which is a bummer. There are also a ton of other little flaps here on the waist, which is nice for allowing the legs to flex accordingly, and he also has this little flap skirt thing on the back. Now we get on to my favorite part of this kit, which are the legs. I think the design on them is just super sharp and clean, and I only just wish I was able to do them a bit more justice with the water decaling. But like the rest of the body, the legs also prove to have great range of motion, allowing for splits, extremely bendable knees, and even toe joints that are great for helping him achieve that balance that he really needs. My absolute favorite part of this design though are the back of the legs here. The golden tubing and the little circular green bits just really add a lot of sense into him being a mecha. But let's go ahead and put Tristan down for a second and take a look at some of his accessories here, like his cape. I'll start off with saying I'm not the biggest fan of his cape. I'm too much of a fan of what's going on in the back of Tristan for me to really even want to put this cape on. It also makes it difficult for Tristan to stand with all the weight that's being put on the back, which removes a lot of his posability. I decided to keep the cape clear and stay away from the matting, so this is what the green pieces of Tristan look like originally. The cape comes with a joint piece, which allows you to attach it onto Tristan, and a peg slot, which is for attaching his weapons onto, which I will present shortly. As we put the cape on Tristan's back here, you can see the amount of range we're allowed to get. Moving on to his sword and shield. They both have a nice simplistic design. I especially love the shield with the matte gold. We get two little attachments for his shield. This white one, which allows us to attach the shield to the cape, and this gray one, which allows us to attach it to the back of either arm, both allowing free movement once attached. Now we get to the title weapon, his Greatsword. Pretty cool design. This also comes with the peg that allows you to attach it to his back. And when we take his weapons off his back, we can then put him on his fist here, as I'll show you right here. The back of these fists come off and you're able to insert the handle of his weapon just like so. Now if we put all of his accessories on here, this is what we'll get. So yeah. There's a ton of different ways you can use these weapons to get a bunch of different poses out of him, like you see throughout the video. If we take these off, we can go ahead and take a look at these hands that he comes with. The first hands I want to look at are these fists that he comes with. I'll keep it blunt, I have no idea what these are for. I tried attaching the weapon to the fist that's open, but I had too much trouble with the fingers that kept flying off, so I just gave up. If someone in the comments could give me a hand with how these are meant to be used, then that'd be greatly appreciated. But I'm just gonna ignore them for this review. Tristan's hands are swappable just like this, so we're easily able to get all these different looks for him. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap up the accessory set he comes with. Overall, Tristan is a very solid kit, though I would like to point out a few of the issues I did have with him. Since he is a model kit, pieces will come off just as they come on. A few specific areas that are tacky to work with are his hands that have loose finger pieces, his forearm, which has this plate that falls off often, and his foot, which has this piece that regularly comes off too. His right fist that I have holding his great sword for the most part is pretty loose on the arm and falls off when I try posing him with that sword. And there are just so many tiny pieces such as this one that just fall off and I have no idea where they go, and I even lost a few fingers by the end of this recording. But with those flaws out the way, there are just so many good things about this kit that really just end up leaving us on a good note. I'd actually like to give a round of applause to SNAA for providing a kit like this and say that I'm definitely hooked, and I'll most likely end up getting my hands on more from this line. Tristan is extremely posable and playable, and the amount of creativity you're allowed to put out with him should be an example as to what can be achieved with these kits. Is Tristan perfect? No. But if you're a fan of Gunpla, or you're looking to get a model kit for yourself or someone else, I couldn't recommend this one enough. Again, for under $30, there's really no going wrong, as he'll make a great addition to anybody's collection. And with that being said, that just about wraps this review up. If you enjoy this sort of content, make sure to let me know by leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.